This segment is presented by AT&T. Our coverage of the Tribeca Film Festival continues with XY, which premiered this weekend. The film explores identity issues, sexuality, and the need for connection while following a group of New Yorkers entering and leaving a variety of intimate relationships. Now, the two of you are married, and the film opens with you guys having a pretty sad sex scene, if you will. What was that like watching that with 900 people?
Well, they started laughing, which was...
What did they laugh at?
The discomfort of this relationship. I think, Ryan and I were shocked. It was the last thing that we anticipated, was that people would laugh. It's a very, as you say, uncomfortable, sad sex scene that then turns into a fight. I started to realize that the laughs were laughs of familiarity. That this relationship that was obviously deep and intimate, but it had grown a little cold and distant, and people were laughing, I think, because they recognized it.
As someone who has most gracefully and beautifully entered your 30s, what advice would you give to a young 20-something woman like myself on how to enjoy and make the most of their 20s? Okay, thank you, love you, bye.
So cute. Thank you for your question.
So what advice would you give to her, and maybe to me, who's 30 and needs help understanding things?
Well, I guess my personal experience is that the 20s were a very much under construction period. I felt like they were difficult. Every challenge was being experienced for the first time. Your personal challenges, your family challenges, your professional challenges, and you're learning who you are as a person, and it was hard. My 20s were hard.
Do you think it was harder to learn who you were as a person in your 20s, having a television show and having, a multinational corporation in control of your brand?
I really don't think so. I think it's what adds to it is that what you're going through may be in the public eye a bit. But I don't think it changes the fact that it's hard to grow up and it's hard to learn who you are. And my advice to anyone in their 20s would be, to do the work, because I turned 30 on Friday, and I just...
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I had the best birthday, and mainly because I looked around and I thought, I have wonderful people in my life. I have great friends. I have this amazing husband. I know who I am. I know what I want, and I worked really hard to figure it out. And a lot of people can go through their 20s and not do the work. That's a little bit what this movie is about. Is that people sometimes, people can grow old and never grow up. And
it's so much work.
It is.
It's so much work.
It really is so much work. And so I would say, have fun, but know that your 20s are supposed to be about work, and it's supposed to be about growing, and that they're really, for me, turning 30 was just a joy.
Do you ever think that work ends, though? Because as much as
No.
Yeah, it doesn't end, right? There are so many days.
It doesn't, but I think it gets easier. I feel like everyone says it gets easier, that your 30s get easier, that your 40s get easier, that if you do the work, it gets easier. And that's my experience.
But I think it gets easier because in your 20s, you feel like you have to do all of the work. And then as you get to your 40s, I'm not doing that shit. I'm done with that. You care much less about certain things.
But you know more about who you are, right?
Yes.
And what you have control over and what you don't have control over.
Do Latinos have parties in the house? Yes. Do we occasionally drink too much alcohol? Yes. But I think that goes across the board. So the word stereotype is a word that gets thrown out a lot. But I just write from the truth.